Welcome. I'm Michael Bickert. Thanks for joining me today as we explore concepts with the objective of improving your management skills and growing your business. Pause the video right now so that you can grab a notepad and a pen. I want you to jot down something. You have some kind of homework assignment. I want you to have an action item that you jot down during this discussion that you will implement in your business today. This is all about improvement, okay? So you need to implement something today to affect positive change in your business. And speaking of today, I want to let you know that you need to stop treating everyone equal. I don't believe that you should treat people equal. There is a lot of talk of egalitarianism in our society and how that we should believe in equal outcome and we should strive for equal outcome for everyone. And that's just simply not going to work. And it is a bad idea when it comes to business. Now, of course, I say that intentionally in an incendiary way so I can stimulate your interest and I can get you starting to mull this over. Take a position. Do you agree with me? Should you treat people equal? I have said so many times to my team, I do not believe in equal treatment. Instead, I believe in, and then often my team would repeat back to me, equal opportunity, and they understood that. So that is a message that I would like you, first of all, that idea, I do not believe in equal treatment. Instead, I believe in equal opportunity. You should decide whether or not you agree with that. And if you do, latch onto that. And then the second part of that is communicate that to your team and begin to build a culture in which your team completely understands that, embraces that, and works with that in mind, because it affects behavior. And then it also affects the paradigms of your people and their attitudes towards how you respond in certain situations. When it comes to fruition that people are not getting equal treatment, then you won't have such an adverse reaction from a team who might otherwise be saying, hey, that's unfair. Why does this person get that and I don't? Your business should be a meritocracy. In a market economy, in a free market, businesses will thrive when they create extra value. And when a business owner, entrepreneur, and management team has a greater set of skills, or maybe they work harder, they will achieve more. And that's the whole goal. That's what motivates them. That's what incents people to work hard, is the idea that they can produce more and they can provide more for themselves and for their families. And so it happens within each business as well. If you agree with that assertion as it relates to the overall economy and how your business as an individual business within the economy is not going to be treated equal, is that, I mean, certainly there should be a level playing field for your business, and you want to make sure as well that you have a level playing field and that you're fair with everyone on your team. Although you could also argue that life isn't fair and you compete in a market that isn't fair, I would encourage you to try to create that level playing field and fairness within your organization. But within the marketplace, your business has to compete, and it will succeed to the degree to which you have well organized your skills and created value that your competition has not. So if that's the way it works for a business, it should a business within the community, within society, within the market, then that should be how the conditions exist within an individual business for all the players on the team. And so if you have sort of a message and a culture within your team where, well, everybody is equal here and we'll treat everybody equal, you're making a mistake. It should be a meritocracy. You should, to the victor go the spoils. So you should create remuneration plans, incentive plans, performance metrics, and feedback mechanisms like your report cards that encourage commendation and rewards to those who are achieving more, who accomplish the objectives. You should well define your objectives and make sure that people know that there are rewards for the accomplishment of these objectives. You have to align your interests. So whatever your interests are as the manager, as the entrepreneur, the business owner, you want to make sure that all the way down through to the front lines, every level within your organization, everybody is rowing in the same direction. You all have those same objectives. And the only way you can do that is by allowing for unequal outcomes. You will not have an egalitarianism or you will not have egalitarian results and outcomes on your team. So think about that and accept that from the beginning, and then teach that to your people. Not everyone is equal in all things. Now, fundamentally, I will accept that we are all created equal. That is our dignity, and as children of God, we are equal in the eyes of God, and we should treat one another that way, and love thy neighbor and all that. That is certainly not what I'm getting at in this video. Instead, what I am trying to communicate is that we have different strengths and weaknesses, different skills, and the degree to which we are a really good fit with our organization and the profile, maybe our role description really aligns well with our strengths, we're probably going to achieve more. So if you are, I used to say to my team, should I pay more because you are extremely intelligent and you have, ability to have really strong scientific foundation? I'm not articulating this well. I used to use like a rocket scientist. So if you're a rocket scientist, should I pay you more? And the idea is, well, it depends on your role description. If I'm not at NASA, I'm not at SpaceX or Blue Orbit, then I'm not paying you more for those skills. It's about aligning objectives, and the skills you bring to the table for our team, does it align well with our objectives? And so we understand that some people are taller, some people are shorter, some people better looking than others, and others are more intelligent, and some people have a greater tolerance for pain. Some people have a greater tolerance for rejection. Some people are more influential, and on and on and on. We're not all equal. But if you have a opportunity within your team to use your strengths and to leverage them in such a way that lets you soar greater than someone else, you should be rewarded differently. Therefore, you should not be treated equally. You may be able to make more money. You may get more perks and benefits. You may have more opportunity for advancement within the team. And maybe you've demonstrated that you have a greater degree of responsibility and greater leadership skills for whatever reason. It's maybe based on your experience. It could be something that's innate to who you are. And those things should be allowed by your employer to shine and to come out. And so if you are the employer, if you are the manager, you want to create a culture where that's the case. And that starts with understanding and accepting, and then communicating to your team that we do not believe in equal treatment. We believe in equal opportunity. Therefore, you need to go out of your way to create mechanisms in which people in your organization who achieve more will benefit more, where they will get more rewards. And as I said before, some examples of that, I think the most obvious example would be in terms of pay plan remuneration. Should be documented, well documented, and outlined for your people to see. If they achieve A, they get B or whatever. And people shouldn't have to guess at that, so that there's no opportunity for people to misconstrue something as favoritism or nepotism or whatever it is, when people witness that somebody is the benefactor of some kind of unequal treatment, some extra benefit, then they like to gossip and, maybe people commiserate with one another about why it's unfair. But if it's well documented and everyone has the same opportunity to go and get that, then that will suppress that. It'll mitigate the effect of people doing that kind of thing. So document these things. And then the other thing, because it's not all just about pay, it's also about recognition and celebrating the success of your team. So make sure that you formally put things in place that reminds you, and you have processes to automate this, to go out of your way to recognize people when they accomplish certain things. And again, when that happens, so it might be in a particular meeting publicly, or there might be certificates that are distributed that people can display in their office or on their desk. There may be something in the newsletter, something on your website, any kind of recognition. And we'll do another video where we talk a lot about how you can do this, but it should be documented where people know what to expect and how to accomplish that thing. It could be a little lapel pin, any type of thing that you're going to do that rewards people that they work towards. Maybe it's a special parking spot. It could be food. I'm giving a lot of examples here, but it's well documented. And again, people don't start to commiserate and say, oh, there's favoritism going on here or whatever. They understand that that opportunity is equal and it's available to everyone, and that person who is receiving it, the recipients, are simply the higher achievers. And so put this stuff in place and do it in such a way that you won't forget, because it's really, really demotivating to people if they accomplish something and then you didn't recognize them, you didn't give them the commendation, or they witnessed that somebody else. I remember that I wanted so badly to become the salesman of the month when I was new in automotive sales many years ago. And when I finally accomplished it, I was not recognized the way that others were. It was sort of an afterthought, and it was so disappointing to me, because that was one of the things I wanted. As silly as it may sound, I guess it shouldn't be silly, because we all want to be recognized for our achievements. And it was an afterthought where the manager almost forgot about it. And there was also other situations where people were actually given something, an actual perk, not just the recognition, but it was the recognition that I was most looking forward to. And I was so disappointed at how it happened. And so the message to you, as I share that anecdote, that example, is that make sure that you formally document this stuff and put mechanisms in place for organizing and making sure things don't fall through the cracks. So if you're going to have a meeting in which you're going to recognize your top salesperson, your highest achiever or whatever, that it's on the PowerPoint, it's on the agenda, you have some kind of reminder, and it happens. You can automate these things and make sure that it's well organized. For goodness sake, don't set up what I'm saying here, this meritocracy, and then be inconsistent, because that is not at all what we're talking about here. You would be able to argue, well, it's not equal treatment, Michael. I'm not treating people equal. So that in my example, they didn't recognize me the way they recognize someone else. That's not equal treatment. That's true, but we had equal opportunity. And in that case, I was expecting to receive for the treatment, for the meritocracy, for my outstanding accomplishment, that I would get what the people who preceded me in those accomplishments were able to get. So don't demotivate your people. Really what this is all about is not sort of taking a firm ground where you can fall back anytime you treat people differently on this idea of, well, that's how we operate here. We treat people differently. That's not at all the message I'm trying to get across. Instead, what you're trying to do is create a culture where people understand it's a meritocracy. To the victor go the spoils, and when you accomplish more, you're going to get more. And there has to start with a base level understanding that people are not going to all accomplish the same things. And it's really, people actually, I think, for the most part, like that when they benefit from it, of course. I mean, people, those who want socialism in society and are looking for a free handout and everything, those are probably not the people that you're looking for on your team, or they fill a different role. They're probably not going to be involved in a role that has a pay for performance aspect to it. But still, even those people acknowledge that they do want a pat on the back for a job well done. So, you have to understand the different types of roles you have within your organization and set this up certainly for those that are more productive in your organization. What I mean to say is those roles which create sales and create revenues for you, that they are recognized and rewarded for achieving more. And those things that are maybe more administrative and just checking boxes, maybe there's not as much of this going on there, but still the opportunity for advancement and a pat on the back and a good performance review, it all needs to be there. It all starts with an understanding that we don't believe in equal treatment. Instead, we believe in equal opportunity. That's where I'm going to leave it today. I wonder if you agree with this, and in your experience, what have you noticed with employers or with your employees, with your team? Are you practicing these things? Where would you disagree? Let's leave some comments. We have to learn from one another. Perpetual refinement.